Welcome back, YouTube, and happy Manliness Monday. Today we're going back to Don'ts for Boys. It is an old book. Copyright 1902 by Henry Aldemus. This is a mini-series that I'm doing about old-timey type advice and influence, some of which is great timeless advice, some of which is borderline insane, and some of it is just downright racist. I'd like to go through all this, talk about what still applies and what's insane, and hopefully we can learn something about it. So stay tuned for the next couple lessons. So 10 lessons, 5 pages or so, or 10 pages, however many lessons are on that 10 page. I guess this is segment 4, so let's enjoy this and see if we find some real gems. You never need want for good company, while hundreds of choice companions look down upon you from every library and ask you take your pick. I'm glad we're starting off with a good one. This is great. Guys, if people are going to be your friends, they're going to be your friends. Why bother about it? You can always pick up a good book. There are thousands of places to get good books. You can download them offline. You can have people read them to you over the internet. You can go to your local library. You can go to any bookstore. There is just an abundance of books out there, and you can get a lot of it for free. It's just, never underestimate the power of a good book. I mean, I'm reading to you from a book. Should say something. Don't brood or worry. Both warp the mind and hurt the body. Pretty much. There's a great quote from one of my favorite songs. The Sunscreen song. I don't think that's the actual name of the song, but just Google it or YouTube it. It'll come up. Don't worry. Because the things you spend the time worrying about... never mind. I can't remember the quote. This is embarrassing. Watch the song, or listen to the song. You'll find the quote. Don't procrastinate. Putting off the obvious thing to do has wrought woeful tangles. This is one I really need to listen to myself because I procrastinate a lot, and it becomes a problem. Where if I just get it done, you end up having more time to do whatever you want. Don't seek popularity. Well, this is a great one for YouTube. Don't seek popularity. If you are a jolly good fellow, you can't dodge it. Really, if you're just a good person, you're going to become popular. If you're an asshole, you need to force popularity. There are a few YouTube personalities where I think you guys already know who I'm going to be who I'm thinking about. But really, just be a good human being, and life helps you out. Don't whine. Bear pain bravely. Whining boys never make forceful men. It's true. There's a quote from Game of Thrones when the head of the Lannister household, I forget his name now, actually, is talking to Joffrey. They're in the council. And Joffrey gets all pissy and says, I'm king, I'm the king, I'm the king. And he looks at him and says, if you have to say, I'm the king, you are no true king. Don't whine. It makes you look young, foolish, and ridiculous. And no one will take you seriously. Don't borrow. There's only a hair's difference between a thief and a fellow who borrows while airily trusting to luck to repay the loan. I don't entirely agree with this because there are so many times you need to borrow money or take out loans that in this day and age it's kind of impossible to not. However, and there is a caveat to my advice here that does go and supports this point of view. You should borrow as little as possible, as infrequently as possible. Unless you can keep it, don't make a promise. Your word must be as good as your bond to win confidence. Plain and simple. Don't make promises you can't keep. And that goes for every facet of your life. A man's word should be his bond. Don't treat clergymen other than deferentially. It is especially beautiful to see boys respect God's representatives. Yeah, I guess. It's kind of worded strangely, and it is antiquated. Well, I can't really see anything necessarily wrong with it. You should respect everyone, and you should treat everyone with deference and the respect that their position commands. Don't neglect the faculty of concentration, for it is the keynote to all success. If you can't concentrate on something, how are you going to finish it? How are you going to get good at it? There's a problem with today's society that we think we can multitask at everything. And people are notoriously bad at multitasking. That's why there's cell phone laws. Pardon me. That's why there's cell phone laws about driving or distracted driving and everything else. You're not good at multitasking. You may think you're good at multitasking, but really not. And I'm sorry to say that, but you're not. No one is. Don't play practical jokes. The boy who enjoys doing another up makes enemies. Yes and no. There's a time and place for jokes. You just need to know where is the time and when is the time and where is the place, and know when to stop. Practical jokes are fun, but there is a line that you can cross that you really don't want to. Throughout training, thorough training is what qualifies for success in the world of business. See that you learn your businesses well, or you will be worth but little pay. Whatever trade you're doing, be good at it. Be the best at it you possibly can be. If you're a janitor, sweep the hell out of that floor. I'm a draftsman. I try my best to do everything as perfectly as I can. I make mistakes. I try to learn from them and move forward. Whatever your profession is, whatever job you're doing, even if it's a job you hate, be the best at it. Do the best you possibly can. There is no job that is beneath you. Don't be afraid of the smut of labor soiling the face or hands. Fear like death smut that stains the mind. Awkwardly worded for today's day and age, but the sentiment remains. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and do hard work. What you should fear are things that poison your mind. Now they're saying smut, like today we use smut as porn, as another word for pornography. And while that can be the case, porn, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with porn, but if you overindulge, you can easily poison your mind. Don't focus on crap in your life. Meaningless things. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Vet the source. And if it's not a well and intelligent source, don't waste your time on it. Seriously. There are so many better things you can do to occupy your mind. And at the end of the day, this is the one thing that people can't take from you. This is the one thing that people can't replicate. This is the one thing that makes you who you are, your mind. Don't fill it with garbage. Fill it with meaningful things, things that try and lift you up, make you a better person. Like Knightsmith. Don't fuel your brain with stupid diatribe, cartoons and the like. You're better than that. Don't smoke if you are poor, for your purse's sake. If rich, you are better off without the weed. Yes and no. I enjoy smoking as a hobby. You've seen me vape a bunch of times. I enjoy smoking, cigars. I make and sell tobacco pipes. It all comes down to, is it a habit? Is it an addiction? Or is it just an occasional leisure activity? Don't make habits into addictions, because you're better than that. You know you're better than that. Deep down, you know you're better than that. I believe you're better than that. Don't underrate the value of a pleasing manner. The boy whose face is always bright and who exerts himself to please others gets many of life's tidbits. There's a whole thing about, walking around, and you shouldn't be judged about your hairstyle or how you dress, tattoos you have. And while, yes, you shouldn't be judged based on those things, you should be judged based solely on your merits. Should be. There are a lot of things that should be that are not reality, unfortunately. And the way you dress, act, comport yourself, present yourself to the world says a lot about who you are as a person, most often. Now, I can say dozens of times where people have completely surprised me by who they are versus how they dress and how they act and how they handle themselves. I've seen bikers that look like they will rip your face off if you blink twice in their direction. However, these guys who are all tatted up, wearing leathers and chains and have piercings all over their face, he has 2 daughters that are always wearing pink, and he wears pink with them just to play around, and he plays princess with them, and he walks his little chihuahua around the block. And he's the nicest guy on earth, very well spoken. Surprised the hell out of me. But that's not reality. That's not the normal case. And people will judge you based on how you look and how you act and how you talk. So if you want to talk like a thug and dress like a thug, people are going to assume that you're a thug. If you're going to have face tattoos and everything else, people are going to assume that you're a thug. If, as a white guy, I shaved my head, shaved everything, skin, and had big swastikas all across my face, what would you think about me? You would think that I'm a skinhead Nazi. I'm not. I have a lot of Jewish friends. But based on that appearance, you have a certain expectation. Also, there is an easier way to say all this, with pleasing manner and such. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Don't waste time in daydreams. Make up your mind what to be and begin. That's a great one because you can either spend your day dreaming, or you can spend your night dreaming and your day living your dreams. Don't be an idler. No fellow's father is rich enough to buy him strength if he won't exercise, or to save his brain from going to seed if he doesn't use it. Basically, at the end of the day, you're responsible for yourself, and just get off your ass and make your life what you want it to be. No one's going to hand you the world. Don't affect saintship. Men distrust boy saints. I guess don't put on the airs of being perfect, because there's a saying of, if something's too good to be true, it probably is. People look for that in other people, and if people see you as just being this perfect, sparkling, never do wrong, they're gonna be a little suspicious of what you're doing, what kind of skeletons you have in your closet, even if there are none. Rather be alone than go with the push. Pushes are generally expensive. I have no idea what they're talking about. Guys, if you know what a push is from 1900, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't steal. Even information stealthily gained to use for personal benefit is stealing, and low-down stealing at that. Don't be a thief. Do I have to say more? Don't forgive memory for treachery. Put it on extra duty as punishment. If you forget something, guys, that's your fault. I forget things all the time. It happens. We're both human. Work to improve yourself. Don't try to be too clever. Precociously brilliant boys are never highly appreciated by their elders. We all know that one kid, that smarty pants, that kid who thinks he's the smartest person on earth, a Sheldon type person. Have you ever watched The Big Bang Theory? Big Bang Theory? Sheldon, one of the main characters, he's a genius, and I almost lost my page. Come on. Super genius, not personable at all. Doesn't understand normal people. Don't be him. Intelligent for intelligence sake is a wasted life. You need to have people around you, because no matter how smart you are, one day you're going to get old and you're going to die. You're going to be too frail to do the things you want to with your life. And that is a sad state of affairs to be in. You need friends. Don't queer the old folks by associating with questionable characters. You have no right to disgrace your family name. Bullshit. Don't queer the old folks. Don't make them feel weird, I guess they're using it in that sense, by associating with questionable characters. You have no right to disgrace the family name. You know what? That is absolute bullshit. That name is as much yours as it is anyone else's in your family. And who says they have the right saying? Who says they have the right ideas? No one. Maybe they're wrong. And maybe doing the right thing, doing the human thing, doing the intelligent thing, does make them feel weird. Tough shit. You do what you have to make yourself right. With whatever God or yourself. Because at the end, that's what matters. Don't ruin your family name. Bullshit. Don't boast of your independence. We are all dependent without exception. No one's ever truly, completely independent. Unless you were left on the side of a hill after you were popped out of your mom. You learned everything by yourself without any human interaction somehow. Learned how to make tools and toys and clothes and teach yourself and everything else in a complete vacuum. Then at some point you've had to depend on someone. You've had to be helped by somebody at some point. No one's all independent. And guys, that's today's Don'ts for Boys. Nothing outright racist this time, which is nice. It's good getting out of this without any racism. However, it's just one of those things that happens. So guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this, if you have your own comments on some of these interesting lessons from the past, let me know in the comment section down below. It does mean a lot to me when I get your guys' feedback. So, hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and follow me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for new content. Manliness Mondays, Philosophy Wednesdays, Project Fridays. Trying to expand, trying to grow, trying to learn things, and trying to teach you guys along with me. So, thanks for watching. If you can, support me on Patreon, and I'll see you later.